Welcome back to Orchid House. I'm Olivier in Fort Lauderdale, and today I want to show you Catasetum lucis. She's a species which was described in 1994, so it's fairly recent. It's been available in the trade, I think, mostly the past 10 years. I'll post a bunch of links below the video about the subject of how you take care of Catasetums. I made a bunch of videos on that subject. Today I just wanted to focus on lucis in particular. So I'm partial to green flowers. I think they are fun. This is an unusual plant. So first of all, I believe it's or at least one of the largest Catasetum species. This is not a very old plant. It's already has a pretty nice bulb. The other unusual feature is that it has this erect spike, because most Catasetums are pendant or maybe horizontal. Sanguineum, I showed you recently, tend to have an erect spike as well. This is an even staked, and look at this. To me it looks like a big asparagus. And yeah, I mean, look at this, the size. I didn't measure actually, probably like up to 3 feet. They can be even longer than that. This is not a lot of flowers. First of all, I lost a few, not a bunch, but a few to thrips. 2, 4, 6, like 8 or 9 left. There were maybe 14 initially. This one got triggered. But the other feature of lucis is that the flowers last typically 3 to 4 weeks, which is pretty good for a Catasetum species. The queens of the species like Expansum and Pileatum usually last 4 or 5 days at best, so this is pretty good. So when you have lucis in the background of a hybrid, you're gonna have flowers that last longer. You're gonna have probably an erect spike, and it tends to be fairly dominant in shape and colors and everything. So this is a pretty this is a plant with very strong genes, I would say. So it's a desirable Catasetum to have. The fragrance is fairly spicy. Not sure how to describe it, but it's pungent. I mean, it's not faint. So that's it for Catasetum lucis. I also wanted to take the opportunity to show you this beauty here. This is Ctt Adolph Hecker. It's actually a very old cross from 1959. My plant, I've had it for 6 or 7 years. And it blooms like clockwork every year around this time, like late September, very early October. And I have 5 spikes. And these flowers smell fantastic. And they are really, really pretty. There's another one on the other side here, if I can get there. It's heavy. This is a heavy one. There you go. I hope not to break any. That's it. So quite a beauty. That was the first spike to open. And I think a spike will last probably 3 weeks, but I mean, because there's many of them, you have flowers for probably like a month and a half, maybe even 2 months if you're lucky. So that was it for today. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have a great day. Bye bye.